Analyst Kevin Benedict, Mobility Analyst and SMAC Analyst here in Sydney this week, and I have the privilege of spending time with Mustafa Bensan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here.
So your company is, you're a director at GoMobileBI.
That's right.
So you spend a lot of time looking at business analytics, business intelligence. Can you just share with us here in, especially Australia, New Zealand, where are you hearing the demand from the market for business analytics on mobile devices?
Okay, it's actually quite a broad spectrum, varying from the government sector to the private commercial sector, and the use cases are quite different too. There's a lot of use cases for the sales force information and also for high-level executive KPI type reporting. And on the other hand, there's the use case for what I'll call information providers, organizations that provide specific data services for their customers who are looking to provide a mobile solution to emanate that information with. So those are some of the important categories that we're seeing.
So when a company calls you and says, look, we have a demand internally for business analytics on mobile devices, what are some of the first sets of questions that you need to know?
I'll need to know a little bit about the requirements, but also their back-end business systems. For example, one of the solutions we specialise in is RoamBI, and that will connect to the major BI systems such as SAP Business Objects, Cognos, Oracle, SQL Server reporting services, etc. So we'd like to get an understanding of what existing BI system they have, because basically we will front end that with the RoamBI solution and come up with an appropriate solution.
So where are some of the challenges with implementing mobile BI that people need to be aware of even before they start? Okay,
one of the big challenges we find is actually not on the business side, but with the IT infrastructure. There's generally demand from the business, the users want it, but when we come to implementing that, there's a certain infrastructure that's required that has to go through the customer's IT processes, and generally that can take time, and you can get pushback from IT. They have certain processes, so the IT aspect of it can be quite a challenge.
So in my discussions with companies around business analytics on mobile devices, I hear this debate going on: should the data reside on the mobile client or not? Should it just be viewable but not reside? How do you guys fall into that?
In our case, for the benefit of the interactivity and the speed, we actually bring the data onto the device. That's how the application works. That's a valid point, though. We find that it actually depends on the industry. Some, particularly the financial services industries, are very security conscious, so they do have concerns with data on the device. In the case of RoamBI, we address that by having expiring files that will expire after whatever period you like. But yes, we do get that question, and it tends to be more sensitive in the financial services sector. But to get the performance on the visualizations, our approach is to have it on device.
And what you mean by that is the ability to actually create different views of the same data. And because you need the data to do different views, that's why you've chosen that way, right?
That's correct. And because we need to capture all the data together, and so we're not always going back to the back-end system to allow us to instantly react to the user's gestures and selections, we've taken the route of having the data on the device.
So are you noticing any trends within industries, or do you think it's equal across the board, or is there particular industries that seem to be more interested in mobile BI?
Okay, at the moment, what we're seeing, it's more coming from the Salesforce type industries that have a sales team out in the field where they're visiting various locations and have to assess the performance of those locations. Pharmaceuticals is a great example of that. Medical is another, but also in the government sector in terms of general KPIs for executive level employees.
Well, Mustafa, I want to just compliment you. You've done a wonderful job as our facilitator and the MC of the event here. Thank you very much for doing that. We're here at the Mastering Enterprise Mobility with SAP conference.
That's right.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
We were in Auckland, Brisbane, now Sydney and Melbourne on Friday.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again for sharing.
Great. Thanks very much for the opportunity.